everybody. So today is Sunday, and Sunday in the Ajoba house is normally our Nigerian food day. So I thought it would be fun to do a quick vlog on making some egusi. So egusi is one of our family favorites, and living in Atlanta, Canada, it's going to be a very Canadianized egusi, okay? So for my Naija people, the meat I'm using is just chicken. There's not going to be any shaki, there's not going to be any dried fish. It's just chicken for today. Sometimes we're able to get some organic beef, and I would use that instead of chicken, but I didn't have the chance to pick some up. So today it's going to be chicken. But I do have some dried crayfish. So there is going to be that some aspect of that dried fish taste in the egusi, but I don't like to put too much. So we are going to go over the ingredients you need to make the egusi. Before you get started, make sure you wear, as you can see, I'm wearing just kind of like an old t-shirt because palm oil stains. So you get this stuff on your shirt, it's going to be, you're going to get it stained. So the first thing you're going to need is a couple onions. This is a large one, so I got a large and a medium. You can use 3 medium, or if you have a large one, then you could use 2. But I do like a lot of onion in my egusi. You're also going to need garlic. You're going to need these beautiful peppers. So these are habaneros, so these are very hot. So depending on your spice palette, you can use the whole one, you could use half of one. If you're not used to spices, or if you don't use these particular peppers, you can start off with maybe a quarter. It doesn't sound a lot, but trust me, if you fry it, it's going to make it very hot. So start off with a quarter and work your way up. All right, so you're also going to need Maggi. Or some kind of a stock cube. In our house, we prefer the Maggi, little cube Maggi, just the original flavor. We don't want none of that chicken or shrimp flavored ones, just the original Maggi. Is it chicken?
There's chicken.
No, there's not chicken. There's chicken. This is just original. Original. I can't find these in a regular grocery store, so if you don't have an African shop nearby or a shop where they have ethnic food, you probably will have to just get a regular chicken stock or beef stock, but probably chicken stock would be better. But I like the Maggi. I use them in everything. Palm oil. You need some palm oil. This is very important. But like I said, it stains, so be careful when you use it. And when you cook with it as well, if you have little young ones eating food, don't let them wear nice shirts, because this will definitely ruin that. But it's palm oil, it's used to fry, has a very distinct, good flavor. Like I mentioned earlier, we're using chicken. Just chicken thighs, boil it, make a stock. We'll go through the process. Red pepper, red bell pepper. I'll use a full one for this this much sauce, but you know, depending on what size you want to make, you can use whatever you like. And it's called tatashe. Yes, tatashe. Salt, obviously, salt to taste. And we also need, I mentioned earlier, some ground crayfish. So we don't want to use too much of this because it does have a very strong flavor, but if you use depending on the size of the soup you want to make, or the stew you want to make, I use a couple teaspoons, and then I kind of taste as I go. You're going to need some spinach. We can't get the type of leaf that you would use in Nigeria, so we compromise and we use spinach. And then of course, last but not least, is the egusi itself. Egusi is just ground up melon seed. Sometimes it's pumpkin seed, depending on where you get it, but melon seed is the real one. And obviously you can't get this in a grocery store, so you need to get it at an African store, which we thankfully have a few here in Atlanta, Canada. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up some onion and some garlic and get my chicken boiling in a get the chicken boiling basically, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I got my chicken on the stove boiling, ready to boil. The next thing we're gonna need to do is I'm going to blend some onion and mix it with the blended onion. I'm going to mix with about a cup of egusi, and I'll let that sit. I'm also going to blend the rest of the onion with my these things, hot peppers, and my tatashe, red pepper, bell pepper. So I'm going to blend all of those together, and then I will fry the blended red pepper mix. And once it comes to a good good texture, then I'll add the mix of egusi and onion, and we'll fry that all together. We'll fry it with the palm oil. Okay. So now I'm going to take about maybe a third of this, and I'm going to mix it with about a cup of the egusi. Okay, so now you have your blended pepper mix, as well as your mixed up egusi with onion, and it should be kind of like not a super wet texture, but just kind of like a moist, sticky texture. So now we're gonna fry this with the palm oil. All right, so here I've poured a bunch of the palm oil into the pan. And we're gonna wait till it gets nice and hot, and it's going to, you see how it's all dark, kind of chunky? It's gonna turn into this dark red liquid and then when it's nice and hot and ready to go. And over here we have our chicken. It cooked it from frozen, so it's gonna take a while. It's starting to thaw off, and then once it's all broken up, I'm gonna cut it I'm gonna cut them in half, like the leg and the thigh. I'll cut them off. Alright. Okay, so you see how the palm oil now is very liquidy, and it turned into this dark color. It's smooth looking, so it's pretty much ready. I'm gonna just put a little onion in there, and you can't really see too well, but you can kind of see that it's bubbling. So that's an indication that it's getting hot. It's not quite as hot as it needs to be yet, so we're just gonna let it heat up some more. Alright, so if you could see the little onion now, it's kind of really dancing around. You can also see that the palm oil is starting to smoke a little bit, so that's giving me an indication that it is time to pour this stuff in. So you want to be a little careful because it does fit quite a bit. So we're going to pour this in, we're going to stir it around, and we're going to wait until it becomes a nice grainy-ish type texture, and then we'll add the egusi and onion mixture as well. Okay, so as you can kind of see, the mixture is starting to get a little grainy looking. Kind of like when you're making rice and stew, for those of you who's ever made rice and stew before. It's that same kind of grainy texture. You know, you don't want to burn it, but you want it to get nice and fried. So now is about the time that I'm going to add my egusi, the egusi mixture to this mixture. And then you're gonna have to constantly stir at this point because it tends to burn quickly if you don't stir it often. So I'll be stirring that. Okay, so as you can see, my egusi now is getting very, very grainy. It's starting to stick at the bottom, which we don't really want, but it's not too bad yet. So this is the texture I'm looking for. So I'm going to add this to my chicken stock here. I'm going to remove the chicken once it's cooked, and I'm going to add the egusi to the chicken and mix it around, and then re-add the chicken. So I just chopped up some spinach, and I got my egusi cooking with the chicken stock. Now I'm going to add a few teaspoons of the crayfish, stir it around and taste it and make sure that it's the right level. Once that's done, the last step is to add your spinach. You do it at the very end because it doesn't take very long to cook. And then we will start with the pounded yam. So we could eat egusi with all different types of things. We prefer eba or pounded yam. So today is going to be pounded yam, and Temi, my hubby, is going to be the one doing that because I don't really have the upper body strength to stir that stuff. So that's what we're doing so far. And now it's pretty much cooked. I did a taste test. It tastes very delicious. So we're just waiting for some water to boil, and then we're going to make some pounded yam. And I'm just going to let this simmer until it's time to eat it. So Temi is making the pounded yam right now. You need a lot of upper body strength, so that's why I make him do it. So pounded yam is in there. That's the powdered form, and then obviously we can't get the real stuff, so we get the powdered stuff, and then we mix it at home. So if you can see it there. And this is how the egusi is looking now. So it's nice, it's done. It's just simmering. Okay, and here is the finished product. You got your pounded yam, your meat, and your egusi sauce, and you just eat it. You just take your pounded yam, you dip it in your sauce, and you eat it and you enjoy. So that is the finished product. This is egusi Oyinbo style. That's egusi. I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. I hope you're able to go and make yourself a nice pot of egusi and enjoy it, because this is very, very delicious. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, comment, like, share. Thanks a lot. Bye.